Hi, welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Terry Stiles.
I'm Jim Hughes, and on this edition of Oxford News This Week, record numbers in the local election, M24 construction updates, and Oxford 7 returns to showing movies.
All that and more. The Oxford News begins right now. Despite record numbers of absentee ballots delivered to Oxford Township, voters lined up early to cast their votes all over town. All 5 candidates for the Oxford Township Parks and Recreation Commission, as well as all 6 candidates for the Oxford Public Library Board, ran unopposed in last week's 2020 general election. Of the near 18,000 registered voters in Oxford Township and the village, the total of almost 14,000 cast a ballot in the 2020 general election. Some concrete good news is that the Oxford Township resident Mike Spiz will continue to represent District 3 on the Oakland County Board of Commissioners for another 2 years. Spiz has served on that board since 2013. Official results from the election will be in next week's Oxford Leader.
Of the nearly 18,000 registered voters in a related story, the Oxford Township and Village almost 14,000, or 77%, cast a ballot in the general election. Thanks to all the poll workers who volunteered many long days to make it happen. Terry?
In other news, the construction project on M24 continues. This past week, workers were slated to finish up paving on the west side of 24 Drainer Road intersection. The single lane of southbound traffic was also shifted back to the west side of M24 between Gateway Drive and Lake Orion and Drainer Road. Southbound traffic had been shifted to the east side in September, while crews reconstructed the southbound lanes. Construction engineer Brian Travis stated that this will allow for top course paving to begin on the northbound lanes. All northbound 24 traffic will continue to be prohibited in this section. Northbound traffic should continue to follow the detour through Gillespie Street. Crews have also been paving the top course layer through the Burdick and Drainer intersections last Tuesday and Wednesday. The intersections have remained open with traffic stopped and shifted around at times. Michigan Department of Transportation's goal is to reopen all lanes in both directions before the upcoming winter, which could be pretty soon. The project is scheduled to be completed in early December, with some finishing touches to be done in the spring. Jim?
After nearly 8 months of their doors being closed, the Oxford Movie Theater is open and once again showing films. The iconic Oxford 7 reopened on October 30th, the Friday night. The 7-plex theater will be open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for the time being to give road construction downtown a chance to wrap things up. Vice President of the operations, Heath Thomas, stated the theater's plan is to be operational at full 7-day schedule just before Thanksgiving. Thomas has been reopening the GQT theaters across the state since movie theaters in Michigan were allowed to reopen October 9th at 20% capacity. Originally, the cinema was scheduled to open October 23rd. Oxford 7 was among the last of the GQT theaters to reopen. Thomas stated, "We had a little bit of an equipment issue and some staffing issues as well, that we needed to hire some extra people. Everything has been scrubbed and sanitized. The cinema is operating with the reduced eating capacity while following the CDC guidelines." Oxford 7 has their safety plan posted on their website. Each auditorium will have a limited capacity guest, must leave 3 seats between groups of people. Masks are required in the common areas, such as the lobby, hallways, or at the concession stands. Important to note, GQT movies will honor the old Goodrich Quality Theater. That's what GQT means. Incorporated gift cards as well. Terry, good to go back to the movies.
A scary scene recently unfolded on Newman Road in Oxford as it was closed down last week for nearly 7 hours. A large diesel-fueled tanker slid off the road just south of Mill Pond Drive, ending up on its passenger side in a ditch on the east side of the roadway. Thankfully, the driver, a 64-year-old Clarkston resident, was able to remove himself from the truck before emergency crews responded, and he was unharmed. The truck is owned by the Roseville-based Spencer Oil Company, who is the parent company of Thompson Oil. In his statement to the Oakland County Sheriff deputies, the driver said his back tire started to slide off the embankment when he came around the corner, resulting in the truck rolling over. Authorities say excessive speed was the cause of the mishap, not the road construction or any obstruction in the truck's pathway, and in accordance with the department policy, the driver was issued a citation. The Oxford Fire Department and Oakland County Hazardous Material Response Team both arrived at the scene to offer their assistance. Of course. Good job, guys. Jim?
In other news, Oxford Township is mediating a complex dispute around the Stringy Lakes concerning the Maloney Street Bridge and the DNR boat access on Squaw Lake. At its recent meeting last month, the Township Board nominated Supervisor, now Bill Dunn, Clerk Curtis Wright, and Trustee Jonathan Nold to investigate the possibility of raising the Maloney Street Bridge and the various issues surrounding it. There are to report back to the board within 6 months. The matter involves the Road Commission, the Oakland County of Michigan Department of Natural Resources, and the residents of the Stringy Lakes. Road Commission of Oakland County is also looking into rebuilding an aging bridge on Maloney Street that divides Clear Lake from Long Lake and prevent most boats from passing between the lakes because of its low clearance. Now that the Road Commission is planning to rebuild the bridge, some lake residents want it raised back to its original height, so they can once again connect all the lakes together. The township engineer, Jim Sharp, estimated construction would begin in 2023 or 2022 at the earliest if the funding does become available. Terry.
Good for them. For those of you who always wanted to be a fireman, Oxford Township Fire Department is hiring. There are required certifications and training that you must first meet, but for those of you who may have gone through that training and meet the criteria, applications are available online at www.oxfordfire.com, I believe, or call Assistant Chief Dave Creech at 248-969-4830. Jim? I think that's the right number. Look it up.
And I think you had the right website. I kind of glanced over. In case you are missing them, the Oxford Township Clerk's Office has 3 driver's licenses and 2 voter identification cards, which were left behind during the voting process. To reach the owners have been unsuccessful, so if you are one of those residents that you think you might have lost your license or voter card, contact the Township office at 248-628-9787. I'm sure they would like to return it back to you.
Sure, that would be really nice to get your license back if you lost it.
I've lost it before, and it fell down it fell down between the thing in the car.
Oh.
And then I'm looking down there, and of course my hand can't get down there to get it.
You can see it down there.
Right, with a French fry or whatever was left over.
I lost my wallet that way for days and I was so panicked. Anyhow, that's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, you can pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper or go to the Charter Township of Oxford Facebook page, or better yet, catch us on Charter Channel 191 and AT&T Channel 99 or our website at occtv.org.
Thanks for watching Oxford News this week, where we actually bring your news closer to home. Thanks to Alex in the back, gets it all set up for us on a weekly basis. And it's good to see you, Terry. I'm glad you're doing well.
I'm back.
And make sure to wear your mask when you can out there. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. The Metro Detroit Book and Authors Society is pleased to announce their first ever virtual author talk series on Zoom. Save the dates and times on your calendar and subscribe to the email www.bookandauthor.org.
Welcome to Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. Well, it's all recalls today. Ford Motor Company on November 4th said it was recalling about 375,000 Explorers in North America to fix a defect that has led to 6 reported injuries. The recalled vehicles are from the 2013 to 17 model years, and Ford said some of the affected vehicles sold or registered in certain areas of North American states and provinces where corrosion is common have experienced a fracture of the outboard section of the rear suspension toe link after completion of a prior safety recall repair. A fracture of the rear toe link can reduce steering control, increasing the risk of a crash. The action affects about 350,000 vehicles in the U.S. and 25,200 in Canada. The affected vehicles were built at Ford's Chicago assembly plant from September 4th, 2012 to January 25th of 2017. The automaker said it was aware of reports of 13 accidents and 6 injuries related to the defect. Dealers will complete a torque inspection of the cross-axis ball joint and replace it as necessary, the automaker said. And at Audi, Volkswagen of America's Audi unit is recalling more than 94,000 vehicles in the U.S. because the C-pillar padding may not absorb enough impact in the event of a crash, increasing the risk of head injury in passengers who are not wearing a seatbelt. The recall affects certain Audi Q7 crossovers from the 2018 to 20 model years, built between July of 2017 and April of 2020. A spokesman from Audi told Automotive News it is not aware of any accidents or injuries related to the defect. Dealers and owners will be notified on or before December 23rd, and the padding on the driver and passenger side C-pillar will be replaced free of charge. And still at Volkswagen Group is recalling 218,192 vehicles in the U.S. because the fuel rail bolts may loosen, allowing fuel to leak. The recalled vehicles are 2016 to 2018 Volkswagen Jetta sedans in the U.S. Impacted vehicles may have fuel rail bolts that were incorrectly tightened, causing leaking fuel and increasing the risk of a vehicle fire, according to NHTSA. A spokesman for Volkswagen told Automotive News that there have been no reports of accidents or injuries. Volkswagen notified NHTSA of the recall on October 21st and is expected to begin notifying dealers and owners on December 20th. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and we'll be right back.
Hello everyone, I'm Dave Saseski and this is your Oxford Sports Update. Now I think everybody can agree 2020 did everything except for fly by. However, with the calendar flipping to November, we're nearing the beginning of the winter sports season at Oxford High School. Now while there was a lot of uncertainty surrounding the fall athletic schedule because of the coronavirus, the Representative Council of the Michigan High School Athletic Association confirmed during their recent October winter meeting, sports are a go for the winter schedule. Oxford senior Zach Patterson finished 5th overall at the Michigan High School Athletic Association Lower Peninsula Region 7-1 meet at Clintonwood Park in Clarkston this past Friday. Now Patterson finished the 5,000 meter course in 16:04.1 minutes. That is a personal record for him, as he'll now compete in the Division I state final at Michigan International Speedway on Friday, November 4th. Congratulations to him. When the Michigan High School Athletic Association playoff matchups were unveiled on October 25th, the Oxford Wildcats, well, they drew a familiar opponent and a team many view as the state's best team, if not one of the top 5s for sure. That's the Clarkston Wolves. Now, Oxford was a heavy underdog entering the matchup. This was played also at Clarkston High School, so last Friday. The night before Halloween, the Wildcats came out strong under first-year head coach Zach Line, but ultimately they fell 21-7. Oxford rounded out their 2020 campaign at 2-5 overall, however, showed a lot of promise for the years to come. That's it for your Oxford Sports Update this week. Till next time, have a great week, everyone, and go Cats!
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. Octopuses can taste their prey before eating it by using their arms to lick it, which researchers say adds to the evidence that cephalopods' 8 appendages are analogous to tongues with hands and brains. Octopus arms are lined with suckers that include cells for neural processing of touch and taste signals. These allow them to determine if an animal is good to eat or is toxic, says Nicholas Polono at Harvard University. That is particularly useful since octopuses tend to blindly hunt, sticking their limbs into holes and crevices to find hidden prey. Polono and his colleagues studied the sucker cells of the California two-spot octopuses microscopically and at a molecular level, finding that some respond to touch and others to taste of chemicals in the water with branched endings typical of sensory cells. Then they used electrophysiology, which measures cells' electrical activity, to test how sensitive the sucker's taste and touch receptors were to different kinds of flavors and odors, respectively. The scientists determined that the receptors reacted to water-soluble chemicals like bitter chloroquine, as well as the chemicals that don't dissolve well in water, such as those emitted by toxic prey, says Polono. Many marine animals, including octopuses, have olfactory organs that probably detect water-soluble chemicals and possibly some poorly soluble ones. However, this underwater smelling is usually thought to occur over distance in the water, like the way noses function over distance in the air. Poorly soluble molecules require close range for detection, which is made easier by direct contact, similar to how our tongues work. Octopuses do actually possess a tongue-like organ in their mouths called the radula, which cuts and scrapes prey, especially shellfish. Yet, it doesn't seem capable of taste. The radula acts more like teeth, says Polono. So far, the taste-touch receptors seem to be specific to the suckers, says Polono. Well, that's it for Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.